So now for the totally boring guys in suits, after all the people who had lots of fun. Thank you, Charles, and thank you, Eileen, for such an incredible job to transform this place into what's surely to be Barcelona's hottest club within 24 or 48 hours. That's community development. Nice job. So, show of hands really quickly. How many of you, and I can't really see you anyway, but how many of you have ever been on a diet? No commenting on those of you who raised your hand. And how many of you have ever tried to quit smoking? How many succeeded? Thank you. Okay, a few of us. So, behavior change isn't easy. It's not easy to change behavior, even when it's your own behavior that you're talking about. But imagine the challenges of these Equator Prize winners, changing not just their behavior, but the behavior of those around them. Entire communities shifting to new economies, new strategies. How many of you have ever created 50 jobs? How many of you have ever passed legislation? How many of you have ever encouraged an entire community, all of your neighbors, to try something new and to succeed? The Equator Prize winners are truly heroes. Truly heroes. And at Rare, we stand in awe of those who can change behavior. I'd like to ask each one of the award winners, once and for all together, to please stand up so we can celebrate you who have changed the world. Please stand up. Thank you for changing the world. And thank you, Equator Initiative, for letting us know about each of these talented individuals to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to learn from them. It's important to know that the Equator Initiative is not just about awarding these prizes this evening. The Equator Initiative is much more than that. As a longtime partner, as a friend, I can tell you that it's about knowledge gathering, knowledge sharing. Eduardo, whose video didn't get to play, but who's sitting on my left tonight, just told me the story that you may or may not see. But I'd like to just share very, very briefly the fact that in the Ujamaa community, Eduardo, working in Tanzania, was capable of helping begin the transformation of society by ensuring that the local inhabitants, his villages, own their own land that they've inhabited for centuries, that they own their own land. And once they secure land tenure, that they're capable of producing crops and of exploiting it sustainably, launching ecotourism ventures and the like. But that also creates problems. It's not just as simple as job creation. The question becomes, what jobs are created? What is their impact on the environment? And more importantly, what do people do when, for the first time, they have these kinds of revenue streams? They really had to sweat out just what to do with these new revenue streams. How to make sure that people weren't just paid in cash for the first time, but that deposits were made directly to banks so that people could begin to figure out how to manage money. Something that even in the United States, where the stock market dropped 7.7% today, we're still learning how to achieve. So to Ujamaa, we wish you a far better economy in the next few months than certainly we've had in my country. So about this knowledge and this knowledge sharing, I asked Edward, I spent a lot of time in Latin America, Edward, forgive me. I asked Edward, what is it that you learned by working in the Poble all week? What is it you learned from your peers, other award winners from around the world? And Edward said, it's really many things, but if I were to summarize, it would be one thing. The community members with whom we work have learned that if they simply begin to identify what are most often closed doors, they find them open. So that for the average community in the developing world, there's a lack of awareness of what those doors even are. Those doors that open new opportunity. But for the people of Ujamaa, simply identifying the doors let them open them. And that's what behavior change is about. We all know we have these problems. Environmental literacy in the world is at an all-time high, ever racing towards pretty much a full understanding by most human beings of what's at stake. And yet, just because we know doesn't mean we're going to solve this problem. Because you know smoking kills you. You know you should eat less, well, probably just about all that olive oil that's on your plate. Behavior change is quite complicated though. So what Equator Initiative is doing is not only highlighting very important cases that we can all learn from, they're also beginning to figure out how to share them, helping people codify knowledge and helping people distribute it. And one quick announcement of just proof of this. WRI, are there people from WRI here tonight? World Resource Institute? Okay. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the Book Lounge, WRI will open, basically announce for the first time, Roots and Resilience, Growing the Wealth of the Poor, which includes case studies of many of the past award winners from the Equator Initiative, to share that knowledge, to make sure that others can take advantage. Okay, final, 3 p.m. We've moved it up 4 hours, it's now 3 p.m. Any room? Okay. Same room. 2 final announcements. We've been a longtime partner, as I said, at RARE of the Equator Initiative, and we want to help celebrate 2 former award winners by partnering with them to help them continue the process of mobilizing constituencies for conservation. So working with these 2 award winners, RARE will partner with them to select 2 community leaders who will begin a partnership with RARE, during which they will garner the first masters, global masters in communication for conservation. They will specialize in behavior change, in social change, building on the momentum already started by this fine and leading institutions. So we'd like to ask you to help us celebrate tonight the full financing, thanks to Packard Foundation and RARE's Board of Directors, of pride campaigns for the Fiji Locally Managed Marine Areas Network and for the village of Vanda Vadoka in Madagascar. So may you continue your fine work. And once again, thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for the leadership. And we all are determined to follow in your footsteps. Amen.